talked earlier about starting with a line 50% of the time, or sometimes having a line that helps you start a piece. How does the creative process develop for you, either when you have that line or if you don't have that line?
I was always like, very good at school, and so, but not in the sense that was like good for life, but just like, I'm gonna get the extra credit project. And so I think I'm like very focused, and sometimes people have, and trying to be helpful, want to dictate process to me, like, Erika, you're clearly, too close to this material, maybe come back to it in 6 months. And I'm like, I'm going to edit that shit tomorrow, actually. So I think there is this sort of steadfast, as much as that can be, unwavering, like, this is what I do. I want to produce. I want this to mean something. So there's the whole, like, horizontal and vertical writers, supposedly. Horizontal being more the Anne Lamott, shitty first drafts approach, just get that shit down. And vertical, more like trying to write a finished poem, like the next right word and the next right word. And I write copy that way, usually.
Vertically?
Yes. But my own writing I do horizontally. And because if I'm trying to get the perfect thing, I just sit there. I'm like, I'm not doing anything right now. This does not count as doing anything. Maybe it does for other people, but for me, I don't. I'm actually not processing what would be the best next line. I'm actually just sitting there, stumped. So I'll have that first line, and then I can just keep going for, a stretch. And maybe that's an hour, maybe that's 2 hours. I don't really notice how much time that is. And then I set it aside, hopefully come back to the next day, start at the beginning, edit, get back in the space of it, maybe add. And I just sort of keep doing that until I'm a few drafts in. And then if it seems like it's actually becoming something, then I'll send it to writer friends so they can tell me what they see, so I can unravel it more or flip the structure. When I don't have a first line, it sucks. It probably means there's more of a deadline, or I'm so just in it that I can't see outside of it, and then it's just like start in the middle, like get everything done, and then it's shifting everything around. I do like to play with structure, and some of the things I write are just a little bit more traditional, like chronological, narrative arc, etc. But I feel it's so much clearer, safer somehow is the word that comes to me. It's like, this is the box that we're going to hold your words in. So once that becomes clear, then everything starts to click into place. I'm like, oh, that doesn't fit the form that goes. So that's satisfying to discover, and it definitely sometimes lets me know, like, assuming I could say that I have readers, like who my readers are and aren't, because other people look at them and like, what the fuck is this? That's not writing. I actually got in a fight about the lyric essay. I mean, fight's dramatic, but
a dramatic fight about the lyric essay? You'll have to tell me the story.
Well, I think I'm being dramatic and calling it a fight. Okay. But yeah, where someone was saying, like, the age of the lyric essay has ended, because the real work is in the transitions. So if you're just doing a lyric essay, you're not working hard enough. And I was like, how the fuck can we say that, actually? Like, how can we say that one form is gone and say that lyric essays are easy to write, or that all the work is in transitions? Like, I think everything dictates its own form.
Will you explain what your definition of a lyric essay is?
Oh my god, I was on the first AWP I went to, it was in Chicago. I went to a panel on the lyric essay, and it ended up being 4 people arguing
But what is a lyric essay?
what is a lyric essay. No one could really define it. This was the year that John DeGata had like About a Mountain and then Lifespan of a Fact. Lots of drama in the nonfiction world. You change some facts, but they sounded better. So I guess when you change a fact, it's not a fact anymore. There were people standing on chairs yelling at the panelists. It was the most interesting panel I've ever been to. So I'm just going to say these practitioners of the lyric essay could not agree. But I think it's where poetry and prose meet, and lyric essay, okay, so it's coming from real life, or it is true. So there's, a measure of lyricism and, paying attention to language, and maybe something that's more organic about it also. Maybe it's musical. Yeah, just more of a focus on language, and it almost seems like just about anything that's not, like a traditional story arc could be a lyric essay.
Do you have a favorite lyric essay?
Oh my goodness, there's so many. They're so good. There was one I read recently, Yi and Lee, From My Life I Write to You in Your Life. And this gorgeous, just like numbered, fragmented essay. It was like being at an art gallery and looking at 10 pieces coming together, and the power of writing around something, and then you can see its absence. To me, more than anything, it's how much attention is being paid to language. And I do want like beauty in language. So sometimes I'm like, just because he wrote a lot of words and they're all true doesn't make it an essay. Well,
You're a language snob.
I'm totally a language snob, yeah. I'm just captivated by language. I realize that's not the driver for everything. I also like to watch someone's intellectual process sort of spin out.